Hey there. In this video, I actually want to share you my learnings, how I build AI workflows, co-pilots, semi-agents who really work for me in order to create a awesome playbook, in order to create checklists, scorecards, LinkedIn posts, newsletters, all based on information publicly available. And in this case, and I will share in a bit, it all has to do with a wonderful, highly recommended talk on SaaStr SaaStr AI between Gemini, the CEO of HubSpot, and Jason Lemkin, who is the founder and CEO of SaaStr. So what I do typically is, yes, I listen to it. I listen towards this podcast or talk during my run today, but then I copy paste the transcript. I typically put this into my library of thousands, let's say hundreds of podcast shows. And as you can see here, AI is fully analyzing this transcript because here's the transcript and it's fully analyzed. But what I've done now, I've put it into my GPT workflows in my co-pilots, and eventually I've built this, I think, quite actionable and practical playbook. So how to embed AI across your organization, and it should come from leaders. And I just created here an introduction, then 7 strategies with 7 steps for yourself to really implement, and a checklist which you can leverage. It's over here. Oh, here first for the KPIs, and then a checklist to implement it step by step. And you don't have to implement all of it. But let me share how I actually have built it. So I opened up my playbook agent as part of the GTM OS, and I said, like, hey, let's build a playbook. I will just go through this quite quickly because it's a workflow. So, are you a founder? What is your revenue challenge? I said, like, hey, embedding AI across my GTM. Typically, we also ask, like, hey, do you want strategic revenue or tactical playbooks? Because it depends on the role of the user in this case. And I say, I want a mix. And just continue with a few questions. And rather than going into the expert library on podcast and LinkedIn posts, I said, like, hey, I have internal materials and I want to upload this. In this case, I uploaded the transcript of the podcast because it was such a practical and inspiring podcast with loads of actionable strategies shared. So I was like, hey, let's build this into a playbook. So I uploaded the transcript, and before we actually hit into building the playbook, it always asks, like, hey, do we want to have an autopilot, an advisory sync, or a manual control? And this is all to do when you go for the autopilot, it will run and makes all the recommendations and decisions on itself. So it's more like an agent. But I want to be in control, the human in the loop. So I want them to make recommendation, but I want to make the final call. So I typically go for two, but even if you want to have more control, but then it takes longer to really build the playbook, you can go for manual control. And after each step, it will ask, it will make a recommendation, but will ask you just to decide. And in this case, only the most important decisions are made by myself. So it starts building the playbook. Um, as you can see here, in between, I voice prompt just to make it slightly better because in this case, I really see HubSpot as the example, and I want this playbook as a blueprint from HubSpot, but how we can implement this playbook ourselves in our organization. Um, and there you see it starts leveraging a playbook template, which I've uploaded into the workflow. And step by step, as you can see here, it starts building all those strategies. And it asks me if I want to go on. Again, if I go for the autopilot mode, it just runs all by itself. But in this case, I want to have slightly control because if I see something which I don't like, or I think it's not actionable enough, not clear enough, I can make those changes. So as you see, it goes over the different strategies. I typically work with 7 strategies. And it's also not that you have to implement all those 7 strategies. It can be done one by one, right? Also very important always as element of part of the playbook building is the measurement and even enablement layer. But what I see here is that the workflow is kind of taking shortcuts, which I don't like. So rather, I have the entire playbook template documented in Notion. So when I see that it actually doesn't follow my ideal script, and that's the human in the loop, I go over it, I share the template once more, and it knows better what to do. So yes, you can go on the full autopilot. Yes, you can run with full agents. I personally, just to have quality control, I want to have that quality control myself. And yes, it takes a little bit more time, but I'm fine if it takes more time, because for me it's the quality. Because eventually I share with all of you. So as you can see, I also uploaded the template for the checklist. It knows how it should structure, but I didn't like it, so I fed it again with the structure. And as you can see, the scorecard, a bit more extensive now. This is the way I like it. And the template for eventually as well the appendix. Typically, I really leverage a lot of expert resource from the Notion databases. For now, it's only the talk of Yemeni and Jason, which is fine, right? I think it's really rich. 45 minutes. What is it? It's 50 minutes of pure wisdom on embedding AI in your organization. So then step by step, I actually have the playbook, and yes, I can ask it just to create the entire playbook. That's all fine. But I actually choose to do it manually. So I put parts of the playbook and then I actually add it into what you can see here, the full playbook, which I typically share in my Substack and as part of my GTM OS. Is it perfect? No. Can you leverage it? For sure. Do I need to do everything? No. You can start with any of those execution steps and see what is relevant for my context, my organization, my team, and help and leverage this. And if you don't know how, you can always copy paste, put it into my GTM OS, and ask to narrow it down step by step, so you can leverage the content to be even more specific if it's not sufficient enough for yourself. So I've played around a bit, and then I said, uh, let's now move into a LinkedIn post. And that's like something I want to share with yourselves. If you are in the search bar and you type in this case, you see it already. These are all my different um, depth workflows I've built in OpenAI, in ChatGPT. So I can say, for instance, I want to build the ICP, I want to build, in this case, the content agent. And any request I'm actually putting in now, it will trigger the next workflow, which is amazing because you can trigger workflow on workflow on workflow. So here you actually see, for those who have used the content agent, it directly based on the rich content, it actually going to build the LinkedIn post. So it goes over, it's asked like, what is the content goal? It asks what type, is it tofu, is it mofu, is it bofu? So top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. It will ask and generate 15 hooks, always based on my coach, my content and design coach, Nick Broekema, who have made like awesome posts on how to build the best LinkedIn hooks. It typically, as you see here as well, creates 3 top hooks and a bonus wildcard, which is also good. So they make a suggestion, but eventually I said like, hey, I want to go with 2 because it's more like a story, it's more like a narrative, like which I want to tell. And then it goes over, it already drafts the CTA. So as you can see, it's all pre-configured and really helps you step by step layered to create this content. And yes, this takes time, but it is needed just to educate your audience. And if you want to go on the autopilot, you saw the question, you can go for autopilot and it just runs the flow fully for yourself. I personally don't believe in this one. So you see here, it actually based on the entire playbook and the transcript of the talk with Gemini and Yemeni and Jason. It builds the LinkedIn post. For me, it's always a check, like how many words, sentences, efforts, because it needs to be consumable for all of you if you read my posts, which typically was always like one of my bottlenecks. And I give some feedback. It can even create, as you can see, alternative ones. And if I don't like it, I can keep voicing to the AI just to update or to make it any kind better. And then at least I have now 3 examples. I merged them. I put them into a planner. And the day before or the day itself, when I post, I actually always go over it again and make it even more authentic and personal towards my voice. But at least 85 to 90% of the work is already done, right? So then we've created posts. And then I said like, but thanks for the preparation. Yes, one of the other comments. Yeah. So it also starts to create auto comments. So this is the way it's structured. So it moves into building comments, which I can leverage on my own post. Again, I don't have to copy paste. I won't copy paste, but it is 70% of the work already done. So I don't have to really think about it. The nice thing of the entire flow of the content agent is that it eventually also moves into suggesting next post. So you can build like entire content strategies with it, but you can also get suggestions of one by one follow up LinkedIn post. Again, based on the transcript, based on, for instance, as well, if you do any kind of voice prompt, PDFs, documents from yourself, it will build from there and just builds LinkedIn posts. So never a reason not to build LinkedIn post. That is nice because if I'm done with the content agent, which you saw, then I go to the newsletter agent. And as you see here, I start building a newsletter. And I've already pre prompted it with how I think typically my newsletter looks like for those who have read newsletters. This is just an example of Voice of the Customer, which I submitted, what is it, last Friday, I guess. And based on these kind of templates, it builds a new newsletter. Still, you see, I not always fully like it. So also here, I have a. Is it this one? Let me double check. Yeah, it's the playbook template, but I also have playbook newsletter template. So if I don't like it, either I share a previous newsletter or I share the newsletter template once more. Again, this costs time, but it improves the quality and the readability and hopefully engagement and the impact, and therefore I don't mind. So it creates the playbook is a bit of back and forth. I always say never take the first output, but also stay. I'll just like show you how it actually works. So newsletter, and then if I click on it and any ask, it now triggers the newsletter agent. And again, I can go on and go on. I can connect any kind of GPT which I've built, which is just a co-pilot. But as you see, if I really run it on the autopilot, it really functions as an agent. And if needed, we can connect it toward Notion, Google Docs, or any other tool, since this is all connected towards NHN. So we can build those workflows that it really moves and acts like agent. Now I'm quite satisfied with the newsletter, which I actually also just published. So here it's live. So as you can see, I did it. Yeah, let's say like in 30 minutes. So all this done in 30 minutes. And here you have like the post. I always create some visuals, and I make sure that this is a clickable link, and the clickable link will always lead towards the actual playbook. So this is the step-by-step guide. Last but not least, I said like, hey, I actually want to build a carousel. So Monday morning, I will build a LinkedIn post, which I've already built, but I also want to build like a carousel, and it makes suggestions. I upload the Nick Broekema template of building a impactful carousel, all free content which he shared daily. So definitely follow him, and you can follow anyone, but for me, he is the best out there and also the most visual, good looking. So it builds a small carousel. If I don't like it, I have built all different kind of carousels myself. So I just upload my PDF from a previous one, which at least the template I like, and you can see here it actually builds the template. So now the only thing I have to do is go towards my Figma and build the carousel, which is done. I seriously in less than 10 minutes, and I have like I think impactful carousel, which typically really leads to higher engagement. Again, it's a long story, but what I want to do here is to really show what I've built, but you can build everything yourself and you save a lot of time. So no reasons to not build newsletters to educate your audience on your knowledge, or to build LinkedIn posts, including carousels. Like everything can be done easily with AI, but you need to spend time, and that's fine. Or you can go towards my GTM OS. Start with Substack, and eventually you can soon sign up for GTM OS. All those co-pilots and agents, they are available on the platform, and all the videos like this one here, like this one as well, I'm trying to teach step by step. This is a longer video, but eventually you will find more videos where I really explain step by step how you can build any kind of co-pilots, any kind of agents, how you can build the best playbooks, checklists, scorecards to leverage for yourself, for your business, as an advisor, or for yourself as a founder or revenue leader if you want to use this in your day to day. If you like this, please share among the GTM community, because the more the merrier. I do it out of passion, and I really would love that at least there is some strategy, some checklist, some playbook which is relevant for you, and I have helped you. Then my day is good. So thank you very much for watching, and good luck. And let's focus on AI. It can really help you, but you need to spend some time and don't follow the first output. Always iterate, iterate, iterate. And something then is 70% perfect. Still, you need to have the human voice there, if you ask me, but it's all good. 50 minutes of education. Hopefully, it helped. Have fun and start building something with AI.